Hi there, my name is Renko and this is Studio Quality Records, and today we're gonna compare Unity compression formats, which is PCM, Vorbis and MP3. First of all, I will say that I will not change the sample rate. I already tried this before. You can watch this in my previous video, but if you are interested, I can show you the difference. So this is PCM, which is wave lossless audio format, but still preserve sample rate is the standard setting. Let's hear the signal. We can see it really clear. It's really clear. And now with optimized sample rate, look at this mess. And you can actually hear this. Pretty huge difference if you will ask me. So now let's go to the main part. So the first test tone is sub bass test tone. The first format is PCM. The sample rate will always be preserved sample rate no matter what. So as you can see, it's clean because this is original wave lossless audio file. Now it's Vorbis. We can see some hum beginning to appear. So this is Vorbis 100% quality. But check out the ratio of compression. I'm sorry to phone users for this small numbers, but yeah, you need to get to the personal computer to see those. So this is 1% from the size of original audio. This is huge, and this is 100% quality. But now 1%, this is still 1% ratio, but 1% quality. So quality is basically the same. This rumble, it actually can be heard. It can be heard, but most people will not notice it at all. Most people. Also, there is no such clear sounds in games, and these clean tones are actually picked by me for these tests because clean tones are very vulnerable to those compression artifacts. So they are perfect for such tests. And then let's go to MP3. And MP3 actually does great. It basically has almost no noise. Like perfect. But check out the size. 100% quality, it's 27% of the original size. It's pretty big. It's like 27% is 27 times more than 1%. Guess what? So it's, yeah, pretty huge. Now let's check out 1%. Still pretty good. But why it's good? Because MP3 basically works by cutting the high frequency formats. So low bitrate MP3 files always sound bad, and you can distinguish them by the high frequency cut. We will get to this further in the video near the end, but for now MP3 did well with low frequency tone. Its ratio with 1% is 2.78% from the original file size. It's good, very good. Now middle tone, around 1 kHz, PCM, lossless. Pretty clean. Now Vorbis, 100%. We can see this stitches, 1%. They are basically the same. These stitches on this side of the sine wave appeared, but nobody will ever hear this. Now MP3. This same stitches appear with MP3, but once again Nobody will ever notice those. 27% of original file size, though, with 100%, and Vorbis gave 1.65 or 85. 65%, 1.65% from the original quality on 100% quality Vorbis. And with 1%, it's 1.27 with Vorbis and 2.78, 2 times more with MP3 100%. It became a little bit more noisy, but it's fine. Though I would say with middle tone, Vorbis actually does a better job. Or I think, at least I think it does a better job. Also, I notice that the beginning of the waveform is smoother while using Vorbis. So just listen to the click. It starts smooth, while MP3 starts with the click. So it was pretty noticeable for me for some reason. So that is probably one thing to know about, that MP3 tends to give this click in the beginning of the audio. So be careful with that. So the third test is the third test tone is around 8 kilohertz tone. It's pretty painful to listen to, but I did listen to it really loud to hear the difference. So PCM, like really clean. Vorbis, 100%, still very clean. Nobody will ever hear this. Vorbis 1%. Nobody will ever hear this. Still sounds great. 1%, 1.21% from original file size. Now MP3, 100%. Once again, 27% from the original file size. Does a great job. Does its job just fine. Now MP3 1%. Check this out. So before, after. We can see, first of all, the signal became quieter. So let me show why this happens. So how MP3 works, it basically cuts the information to save space, and it does it something like this. Like if we have very low bitrate, it can cut something like this. But we will see the actual examples further away. Here's the example of MP3. So this is like 1% sounds. And this is the original. It's a huge difference, and this is a very big amount of artifacts and frequencies that have been cut by MP3, and that's not good. So we have now this tone, it's quieter. Also, it's shifted. It's not the same note. Well, that's weird. I just noticed it right now. It's not the same note. It's two different notes, musical notes, I mean. So I tried to dial the setting back to get the original whistle. So 15, quality 15 still remained at the same low volume level, and quality 16 did bring our volume back, and it's pretty usable right now. But 16 is not the settings that I recommend to use. And now we will are back again to our pink noise, and we are watching on PCM right now, and we are listening to it. So this test with pink noise was required to actually see how those codecs deal with high intensity sound, and pink noise is maximum intensity sound. So Vorbis 100% deals just fine. 21% from the original file size, pretty good. But on 1% it struggles. We can hear like the audio is weird, is damaged, but at the same time we can see that Vorbis tries to save the high frequencies. It doesn't cut it like MP3 does. Here's the example. MP3 just cut out those frequencies, and Vorbis tries to save them, but yeah, we can hear like something weird is going on. But I think Vorbis did pretty well, especially the ratio is pretty good. And if we tweak those settings, maybe like to 10-20% of quality, I think we're gonna get very usable audio from Vorbis. So now MP3 at 100% quality. It does very good, I would say, pretty nice. But we can see that PCM has, just look at the range, it goes just up to 24 kilohertz, and PCM at 100% quality just cuts the frequencies on 16K, and that's not a bad decision. It's actually a wise decision, because nobody, like most people, will not hear this information. We cannot hear that far. So just for example, I can just do this filter for you at 16 kilohertz and just try to hear the frequencies. I don't hear them. If I will make them really loud, I will hear them, but there's no point in that. So MP3 does actually smart move by deleting those frequencies, but 1%. It does too much of deleting. It goes, ratio is better than that Vorbis has, but it damages the audio way too hard. So then I tried different stages, like 10, still the same, 15, still the same, like I showed you before, 16 is already better. It's better now. This is 30, a little bit more better. Here also 25. Same as 30. But it's still not, it's still like around 13 kilohertz. I can still hear that. The optimal cutoff frequency is 16 kilohertz. So this would be a perfect frequency to cut off. And 35 quality is the setting at which we get our 16 kilohertz back. And actually ratio is pretty good. So Vorbis on 1% has had 3% ratio, and it actually sound worse. This has like 2% more but sounds better. So pink for like noisy stuff, this is a pink noise. For noisy stuff, MP3 can do better, but you should actually mangle more with the settings. So the best setting for MP3 looks like is 35 or 40. It should be the best. Maybe I should actually maybe just test this a little bit more. Wait a second. Yep, I'm back. So I found the best setting for MP3, I guess, which should be the most balanced. So when we select the quality of 30, we can hear to the noise. We can hear the lack of high frequencies, and when we turn it to 31, we can see that the noise, the frequency cut is back to 16 kilohertz. So the best setting looks like is 31% of quality on MP3. It remains all the frequency information, which is up to 16 kilohertz, which is the most important frequency content. And after that, it can cut all that it wants. But good codec should basically leave everything up to 16 kilohertz intact without cutting anything. So what are the conclusions of this video? First of all, MP3 adds a little click in the beginning of the signal. Then MP3 actually cannot loop. If you did not know, then now you will know that MP3 actually adds a little bit of silence in the end of the file. And because of that, if you want your music, for example, to loop, never choose the compression format as MP3, because it will never loop perfectly and you will break your head without knowing what to do and how to deal with this. So just use Vorbis for all the stuff that loops. About the sample rate setting, I would say that you should go with the preserve sample rate. Always go with preserve sample rate. Optimized sample rate can be good, it can work, but you will definitely need to use your ears to check for the stuff, bad stuff that can happen with the signal. So it can happen, it cannot happen. You just need to watch out for that. Also, about the quality versus size, who wins this? I think that Vorbis wins this competition because it really optimizes audio well if the audio has not the fullest frequency content. If audio is not loaded with a ton of harmonics like pink noise, which is just a ton of frequency content. So if audio is not like that, if this is like a simple sine wave like in my tests, then Vorbis will do just fine. It will save your space. It will see that, okay, we have just one sine wave, we have nothing more in our signal. Just let's optimize this one sine wave and don't bother about all the other stuff. So that's just what Vorbis does, and it does it greatly. But if you want to use MP3 is designed for more, more frequency-rich content like music, etc. But be sure to set up your quality to 31. 31 is the number, is the magical number at which MP3 works the best. But also don't forget to use your ears. Your content can differ. But yeah, overall, I think Vorbis just wins this competition with size and quality. But the question remains, what of these codecs is actually performing better, requires less CPU resources. I still don't know anything about that, but I want to know this badly, because if Vorbis is well optimized for CPU, then of course we all should just use Vorbis. And Vorbis is actually the basic standard format that each new file, audio clip that you add to the assets in your Unity project, if you just click on it, it will have Vorbis as a compression format by default. So I'm not sure if it's well optimized, because MP3 is like industry standard format for many years. But Vorbis is like open source format, I guess, and yada yada yada, and it works great. But will it be that optimized like MP3? Because once again, MP3 is industry standard. So I think, like, it seems to me that MP3 should perform better, like, no doubt. But I really want to check this on practice. So watch out for the MP3 versus Vorbis comparison. It will be coming eventually. And thank you for watching. Have a good time.